This is a short video depicting a winter logging harvest out adjacent to the Max Israel State Forest. This piece of property is actually owned by Butler Mounting Holdings and sits at the base of Kittredge Hill. This is the meadow at the base of Kittredge Hill and beginning of what we know as Bog Brook that eventually flows all the way down into Half Moon Pond. This property hasn't been logged in probably 40 years and is due for harvest. They are primarily using grapple skidders to harvest the wood from the fellow buncher and dragging it down to the landing where it's processed for fuel chips, biomass chips, pulpwood, and hardwood logs. Adjacent to this property is in fact the Max Israel State Forest, and that's a piece of state forest that's being logged currently primarily for softwood. A lot of spruce, red spruce, and pine that they're cutting on this particular lot. Here you can see they're using what they call a fellow buncher, and this is a track machine that basically grasps the standing tree and has a high-speed carbide tip cutter that cuts the tree at the stump. And then you can see here they bunch them together and drop them so that the grapple skidder can come back and pick the load. Here's a typical grapple skidder headed up into the clear cut, and they'll back up and grab one of these bunches and head back to the landing. You can see this is pretty steep terrain. This particular skidder here is chained all the way around, but he still has a little difficulty getting up some of these rocky areas, so it can be a challenge. Here, that skidder's now got a hitch, and he's headed back down the hill towards the landing. And you can see here he's going to drop that at the slasher. This machine does several jobs. Is useful on the landing for loading trucks, cutting logs to length, and feeding the chipper. Another video of the grapple skidder headed down the hill again. You can see they're very careful about their sensitive wet areas in these forests. They actually place logs across the wet areas and create corduroy bridges to get over them. Here the trail's void of any snow, but the ground's still hard, and they're careful not to make any erosion issues. You can see the slasher here is sorting logs, cutting trees to length, and then also stacking the trees that are going to be put into the chipper. That's again for fuel, biomass chips, or pulpwood. You can see the chip trailers there, staged and ready to get loaded as soon as it gets enough in the pile to. And here you can see the slashers actually working the delimber deck here. They put those spruce through a set of hydraulic fingers that actually removes all the limbs. You can see just left a pole there, and they stack them over on the saw deck, and there's a 5-foot diameter radial saw that'll come down, and you can see here in a second it'll cut those logs to length based on whatever the operator has them set up on the deck for. And then he'll grab those cut logs, stack them in the log pile. This is a loaded chip trailer headed back out. He's probably got close to 30 tons of wood chips in the back of that truck, and that truck's grossing close to 85 to maybe even 100,000 pounds. That's a lot of weight. Here he is coming back out from a different angle. And they're working roughly 2 miles in off the end of a Class 6 road, so they're plowing and maintaining this winter road all on their own. Once the logging operation is completed, they pull all the equipment off the landing and pull it all out of the woods, and you can see here they leave a pretty clean job. They'll take all the logs and take all the residual brush and spread it out, and in 5 years there'll be nothing but blackberry bushes and new regeneration growth. There are several thousand acres in this Monadnock-Sunapee Greenway tract, and they've been harvested over time, for well over 100 years. The goal of these timber harvests are not only to market wood products, but also improve and create wildlife habitat. These small acreage clear cuts promote growth that in turn benefit native species, including upland birds such as woodcock and grouse. Snowshoe hare, songbirds, deer, bear, and moose will also benefit from the regeneration growth. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.